And then another guy I'm absolutely in love with this year, and I think most people can respect him, but I have him right at quarterback 3. He's right around quarterback 5 or 6 right now, is Dak Prescott. What can we expect for this guy that led the NFL in points per game, fantasy points per game last year before going down? Do you think we get that right again in 2021, comes right back? Or what are your expectations for Dak?
I think my favorite Dak stat from last year is that he scored more touchdowns than Daniel Jones, despite playing in freaking fewer than 5 games. Unreal. At first, I thought they were tied. I took the passing and rushing touchdowns, but no, I forgot. Dak actually caught a receiving score to get past Daniel Jones. Unbelievable. But, he's always been a great fantasy quarterback. 2016, he was the overall QB6. He was QB9. He was QB10. 2019, when he finally has, a good amount of receivers around him, he was the overall QB2. And last season, holy shit, man. Second most fantasy points per game by a quarterback ever behind only 2019 Lamar Jackson. So if Dak is healthy, absolutely overall QB1 an outcome is in his potential favor. I would worry that we don't see him running quite as much. Similar concern with Josh Allen, even though Josh didn't have, that sort of brutal injury. But we were already kind of seeing Dak, take his, foot off the gas a little bit as a rusher anyway. But I don't think you can really take that out of him. Like I've never seen a quarterback like Dak where, if there's a first down or a goal line that he feels like he needs to get, he'll put his head down with just about anybody. So I don't know if you can even coach that kind of will out of him. But at a minimum, I don't think we're going to see the same sort of reliance on zone read that the Cowboys have had over the past few years. But they're just loaded, man. And what was most impressive about last year was it was the first time we really saw him overcome a not great offensive situation. Like, look at what happened when Andy Dalton was under center until, the last month of the season. Like, it was brutal because Tyron Smith, La'el Collins were both out for the entire season. Tyron played 2 games. Zach Martin missed. Okay, Zach Martin was there with Dak. He ended up missing some more games down the stretch. But, for the first time, the O-line was a train wreck in Dallas. Like, it's always had been that, fortified unit, all the first-round picks and all that. Last year, it really wasn't. And in 2017, we saw him slip up when Tyron was out. In 2018, things were brutal when they traded for Amari Cooper. But again, over these past 2 seasons, we've just seen Dak not only play great in a mostly great situation, but actually elevate his teammates even when stuff has gone south. So, all the Dak haters out there. I just think they hate the Cowboys and they don't want to admit it. Now, hey, the Cowboys, if they score 1 billion points this year, can they hold their opponents under 1,000,000,001? I'm not sure about that. So we'll see how they do in real life. But man, I don't think you can name, you only need one hand to name the amount of offenses that I think will be better than the Dallas Cowboys in 2021.
It is crazy, too, that this was their first year in a new offense in the Mike McCarthy system, and it just was bananas. I do wonder if the defense, all their draft picks go into defense, you have to think they get somewhat better, but still, it's a lot of how much better can you get? And this guy, first game, week 1 against the Rams, toughest pass D in the league, still put up 20. After that, 46-30.
And that was with the BS Jalen Ramsey freaking flopping on that Gallup throw.
Exactly. After that, 46, 34, 44 fantasy point game logs. And that's video games. And then he got hurt. He had 15 in the first half. So he was right on pace for another monster game. It's just crazy, averaging over 32 points per game. I think he absolutely gets right back into that range there. And the fact that he can go – he's the reason why I think Pat Mahomes is overpriced, because I think you get just as good of per game numbers for 3-4 rounds later. When I have to pass up on a Michael Thomas to take a Patrick Mahomes versus passing up on, say, an older Adam Thielen, for a Dak, and I get a similar per game, I love Dak. I'm all about it. I think he's one of the best values in fantasy right now, and I always wait on quarterback, but I think he's one of the best.
I think it's always a good idea to wait on the top 1 or 2 overly priced quarterbacks. He shouldn't have been taking Lamar Jackson in 2020 when he's going, round 2 or 3. But yeah, I don't mind when someone like Dak is actually falling to, a pretty reasonable range, particularly in these 2 QB superflex leagues. And if you're in an underdog best ball draft, you should be trying to come away with at least 1 quarterback before round 9 or 10, I'd say.
Yeah, one of these monsters. You saw it last year. You needed that 30 points a week from Kyler, from Dak, whoever it was. And I don't see that slowing down. I know a lot of people, the COVID, defenses weren't ready. I don't buy that. I think just players are just getting that much better. The rules are favoring offenses, and we're just going to keep getting points bonanzas from these teams that have that weaponry and these terrible defenses. I mean, that was like the DFS cheat code last year was whoever you either play Dak or you play whoever's facing the Cowboys and Falcons, like one of those two teams, and it was always just a gold mine.
Seahawks games too in that first half of the year were getting wild, man. Of course, we had the Cowboys Seahawks game. That was the best one of the group.
That was epic. Oh yeah. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.